I have an intro, by the way.
Yeah, that.
Oh!
I don't know what you actually said.
Go ahead, do it.
You do something like. Are we recording?
Is that what I do?
I don't know what you do. I think it's something like, what up? Here we have today is.
Hey! Good job, Vicky. Good job. All right, we're gonna do this.
I knew it.
What up, YouTube? I am your host, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, back in here with yet one more video, joined by two very special guests, Mo and Vicky.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Well, y'all know me.
Yeah, Mo's been here before. Mo's friend Vicky is in town. Now today, we have a viewer suggested reaction: why women have totally unrealistic standards for men, dating, and marriage. This comes from the content creator Rebecca Lynn Pope, who I think was, at the time that she did this video, either she was a dating coach or currently was at that time. Anything to say before we get started, ladies?
Nope.
Without further ado.
Hello, this is Rebecca Lynn Pope coming on real quick. You guys know that I have been swamped lately, but I promised I would come on and just share my viewpoints on why women are many women, I'm not going to say all women, but many women are very, very unrealistic about their standards for men, dating, and marriage. So I'm going to give my opinion on this. And now listen, girls, I'm about to be very raw. I'm about to be very real. I'm about to just shoot it to you as just straight as I can, because I'm hoping that this helps somebody. Because as you girls know, I'm a matchmaker. And for a large part of the end of last year and beginning of this year, I stopped matchmaking. And the reason I stopped matchmaking is because I literally I can't handle female clients. I was a matchmaker that matched females, and I had a few male clients, but predominantly I was matching women. And listen, it was such a valuable lesson for me, because what I learned is that the average woman doesn't really want just a good man. She doesn't want a husband. What she's really wanting are these standards or ideas that she has of what a man is supposed to be. But this is nothing what men are. This is not realistic for who men are, how they think, what they value. It's just this preconceived, idea that women have of who men should be. But this is not reality, okay? So literally, the standards here that I see consistently in women that stay single, do not get married, and the difference between women and wives is understanding, one, that men are not women. He's not going to be your best friend like your best girlfriend. You can't talk to him like that. They don't talk like that. They don't talk that much. They're not so sensitive and girly the way we are as women. So if you're expecting a man to be all super sensitive and so considerate and just so everything like your girlfriends, you're barking up the wrong tree. He's going to hurt your feelings all the time, or else you're going to feel like he doesn't communicate because you're holding these standards like he's a girl. I'm sorry. Leave that to your gay guy friends. Or leave that to your bestie guys that talk kind of like girls. Your man that you're going to marry is not going to be like that, right? The second standard is this. You're comparing good men to...
All right, so guys, listen. So Rebecca started off the video talking about that she was a dating coach, but doesn't want to be one anymore, especially for women, because of unrealistic standards. So I feel like she's about to go down a couple of lists. The first one that she touched on is women that talk to men or communicate with men in a very feminine way or emotional way, expecting the man to be emotional or feminine back with him. Do you feel like she has a point in the way that she's articulating that? Or do you feel like she has missed the mark?
So I feel like she's generally talking about men. But if we're talking about personal experience, I never experienced a man that wasn't like a best friend. I've never had a man that I was with that they might have not, they still listened to me, but I never felt like they didn't care when I was venting to them as my friend or as my significant other. So I can't fully agree that a man wouldn't be that way. They might not really low key care, but as far as listening and acting like they care, I've never experienced them not doing that.
So I think like what you're saying is for a man to have a degree of emotional like empathy with in a situation to like hear what's happening with you. He may not action on it depending upon what the situation is. I think what she's talking about is having a dude that you expect is going to be like sensitive, or a dude that you expect to cry with you in certain situations, or you expect that like you're gonna tell him about your previous hair appointments and then and then be upset when he doesn't want to hear that, right? So like what I hear her saying is that typically that type of communication should probably happen amongst your other girlfriends or like male friends that are a little bit more feminine in nature.
Well, I mean, from knowing her, I think she's saying like normally the guys that she date are similar to her best friend. So anything like if they're talking about hair appointments, talking about whatever it is, she feels comfortable with doing that because they entertain that. Like they're okay with that, or they either are okay or act like they're okay, whatever the case may be. Am I wrong?
No,
like
I actually deal with.
But I guess the question is that what you really want? Like, is that what you end up coming across, or is that what you really want? Like, do you?
I want my guy to somewhat care, but not care. Like, I guess she's talking that women make it a requirement. I don't think it should be a requirement, but in the same sense, my guy has to be there somewhat, like in that frame, because then you take it to your girlfriend, but sometimes your best friend is right there. Why I gotta go make a phone call and talk to my gay best friend when my best friend's right here? I don't know. That's just how I'm taking it. So I don't know. Let's see what else she has to say.
Wait, well, hold on. But I think let's stay here for just 1 second. Then let's get back into the video, because I think that's a good point to bring up. Because if your expectation is to be a best friend with a man the same way that you were a best friend with Mo, then what Rebecca is saying is that perhaps you're setting that man up to expectations that doesn't make his cup runneth over, because a man is going to communicate a little bit differently and have different components of his masculinity that he's not itching by having those type of communications. That's what she's saying.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but if I was cut you off, but my opinion is I expect to feel comfortable. Like I expect to feel comfortable enough to know that I can go to my significant other and talk about anything. So I should be able to go to my significant other and say the same thing I would to my best friend. So I mean, it's not, I don't feel like it's a level of, no, I guess it is the expectation. Like I don't want to feel like I have to withhold something from my significant other. So if I feel like I shouldn't have to withhold it, then you're technically like one of my best friends. Like I want to feel comfortable in order to tell you anything. Now, of course, like if I'm talking about you, like, and if I need to vent about you, I may go to my girl best friend for that. So I'm not going to come to you. I may say it to you in a different way than I may say it to my best friend. But I still want to be able to have that comfortability as I would a best friend, to be open and honest and verbalize however I feel to that. So I don't feel bad that women think that they should, like, that their significant other should be their best friend. I just think from what she said that we should be more accepting of the differences between men and women. So like as a woman, I feel like if she's listening to how I vent, she's enjoying it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we are enjoying each other, vent to each other, because that's who we are. We're both women. Whereas if I vented to a man that I'm dealing with and my significant other, he may not enjoy it as much, but he's still going to listen. Like, that type of thing.
Yeah, so I think, like, the best friend thing, when women talk about best friends with another woman, that's a totally different type of dynamic than a man being best friends with another man. And that's what I think that she's hitting on. right? So like, but if you expect to communicate with a man the same way that you communicate with your female best friend, then her argument is, and I believe her argument is that you're setting that relationship up for failure. So I get what you're saying, being best friends with someone, but I think the context of the relationship has to change between the genders and how that communication occurs. Like me and my guy friends, like our conversations about things are, we bring up things that have to either be fixed or when things really matter. Besides that, the conversation is short, but we all still love each other. You know what I'm saying? And I know that, like me personally, I really value my space, my time, my energy. And or if a woman is sharing something with me that either I can't fix, I'm like, well, why am I listening to this, right? So I think that there's an expectation that's different, because as a man, it's, you know, if you're bringing something to me, then I have the cardinal need to want to fix or provide or change or interrupt. But outside of that, like the long kind of monotonous conversations, you should probably save that for, you know what I'm saying? Or let the person know ahead of time, is this something that I should fix? Or is it, I just need you to be an ear right now because I have no one else as a sounding board right now? Does any of that make sense? You guys ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's go. Quick pause. Listen, did you guys know that I had a Patreon page? What's Patreon, you say? Patreon is a fantastic service that gives content creators like myself an additional way for subs and viewers like yourself to be able to support the channel so I can continue to provide high quality content for you. Listen, as you guys may or may not know, the type of content that I do here on YouTube receives scrutiny and might become demonetized. So Patreon is a fantastic service that I like to use to provide additional benefits for those that sign up for the features that I am offering. Click on the link down in the description box down below and go see all of the things that I'm offering. Everything from behind the scenes to extra content, dozens of hours of content. All right? Now let's move on with this video.
I can't say this. F-boys. I'm just gonna say it. You're comparing good men to the men that you've experienced previously who were not ready to be husbands, that you were just dating, messing around with. I mean, literally, there's a distinct difference between marriage material, men who are ready to be husbands, and these F-boys that you've been messing around with in out of these situationships with for years. And so now you have this standard for a man and a husband based on these dudes that have just been playboys, fun, boy toys, whatever you want to call it, girls, okay? You can call it whatever you want. But now you set this standard to say he's supposed to look like this, he's supposed to act like that. Oh, you know what? He's too corny. He likes me too much. He texts me too much. Yeah, because the men that you were messing with, you weren't even the only one. They don't text you right back. They don't call you right back because they have 8 more just like you. So a man comes along that is crazy about you and is interested in you, and I'm sorry to say, you have friend zoned the men that really you're compatible with, the men that would make a wonderful husband. A lot of you have friend zoned the good dude who's ready to be a husband and a father and give you some pretty babies. Because the other thing is men do not look like us. Let me be clear about this. We are the fairer sex. God created us to be beautiful, not men. If you get a pretty boy and they super fine and they in the mirror more than you, honey, rest assured, he probably got some habits that go along with that. He needs all the attention from all the women because he likes to feel like he's it. And if he's actually better than you, you got a problem. But the problem is you looking at visuals and thinking that men are supposed to look like us or be just as gorgeous as us. No, that's not how God created this whole scenario. You are the fairer sex. You're the beautiful one. You're the gorgeous one. You're the one that men go to war over. You're the one that men literally will kill for. You're the one that they're out here trying to make all this money to impress you, to get you, Quit looking at men. Is he 6'2"? Is he look like Boris Kodjoe or Idris Elba or Michael Ealy? Do you know the percentages of men? This is what I just would die to say to my matchmaking clients and the people that would come in for consultations because they want to be matched. And they're coming to me. I'm sitting here just being a good woman. So I'm thinking these women just want married. These women just want a good man. Nah, boo, that's not what they wanted. What they want is if I'm going to pay this money, I want me a Michael Ealy. I want me a Boris Kodjoe. Well, look, boo, Boris Kodjoe's married. Last time I checked, Idris Elba's taken. These men are such a small percentage of the population. Do you guys understand that for a man to be over 6'2" is less than 3% of the population?
Okay.
Bars. Okay, let me bring it back. Okay. There's a lot of information that was just said. The first half of the conversation of this point, she was talking about unrealistic standards because women that come to her are looking for husbands, but are looking for traits in men that would be described as F-boys. Okay. So, and I've experienced this as well. Women that get turned off when you over communicate, over text, over pedestalize, like do all of these kind of things, they don't respect it. But what they happen to respect more, and this is not all women, this is some of them, right? This is a component of them, that don't think like that. And they think more like, or respect more the ones that don't text as much, right? That keep them in an idea of confusion, right? Regarding the relationship, right? The ones that look a certain way, have a certain height, have a certain like, and have all these like predefined characteristics that they can't change via biology, right? That was her first part. So I wanted to get you guys' first kind of thoughts in and around that. Is she on the mark or is she slightly off? Or do you guys consider what she's saying in a little bit different of a light?
Different of a light.
Okay.
Because I don't think that way. So it's hard for me to even go. I don't think of a man having all these looks and being 6'2" because I love ugly men.
That's a fact.
I like me a medium ugly, we can work with him, but you're not going to look at the dudes that I like and be like, he is so handsome. I had a few, but like, I don't look at looks, so I can't agree with her with that. I don't look at how tall. Now, I don't want them 4'11" like here, but.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'6"3/4.
Okay.
To be exact. So, but I don't look at men and be like, oh, he needs to be. I really don't want a 4'11" though, because I just can't do that. But I don't say 6'2". All my dudes were 5'9", literally. Like if I put on a heel, it's over for them. Boom, right here, there. So like when she talks about that component, it's hard for me to even because I don't think that way as a woman. Also. She spoke about height, looks, and the guys that text you.
Like F-boys.
Yeah, like. Yeah.
So the reason why F-boys are known as F-boys is because they have the pick of the litter and they can generally date 8 of you, right, at any given time and get respect from 8 of you at any given time. But what she's trying to highlight here is the difference between those that have these certain characteristics which put them at the top of the pack versus the good guy that maybe doesn't have a lot of stuff but then works hard, studies hard, is not even 5'9", maybe he's 5'4", 5'5", but will treat you well and takes you out to eat to roof crisp, you know what I'm saying, and and shows you love and respect, right? So what men have been taught is like generally like the more respect that you show a woman or the more love or the more that you show them that they are the prize, the better the woman will treat them. But often what men experience is the exact opposite. The worse that you treat a woman, the more confused that you leave her in a state of not understanding her value in a situation or validating or approving her, the more that they will be attracted to you. Do those concepts make sense?
You get what he's saying?
Yeah, in a way. because it's hard for me to really say. It's really hard for me to agree with everything she's saying. So I get it, but because I don't think in those ways, in those aspects, it's hard. Like, I really don't think that just because a good guy, or he's always texting my phone frequently, that it makes me unattracted to him. What I think happens is, a lot of times the female is already setting that guy in the friend zone, but the guy consistently tries, and that's when they get to that point of, oh my God, he's always hitting my phone. Oh my God. But not where me and this person is having a good conversation. I'm liking his vibe. He's liking mine. And I want you to text me all the time because I like our connection. But I feel like I've had experiences with dudes, like, even to this day, they'll still text me. And they know, because I verbally state to them, like, we're never going to get to that point. Like, we just don't have that type of connection. And it don't have to go because of their looks or they don't have this and that. Because I've had good guys that I mess with that I just don't have that solid connection with. So that's why I feel like some men get to that point where it's like, he looks like the good guy because he is a good guy, but not for me.
Okay.
So that's where that's why I say I get what she's saying, but I can't fully agree.
Because I feel like it's always like, okay, we're not choosing the good guy, but maybe the good guys are choosing the wrong women. Like what I'm saying? Like, we can say it's been good guys that still try after we done verbalized that we're not interested. So the guys that are good tend to still orbit around us.
Even though you told them no.
No.
Well, there was a time back in the day where, this is pre Me Too movement, but a dude, women would play hard to get. True. And then the dude would have to pursue, and then eventually, he would do enough things to have Cupid strike the arrow in that young woman, right? But now it's a little bit different, in a sense that, I feel like the more realistic understanding of that in 2020 today is, if you're pursuing and she says no the first time, like, not now, it's like, just leave it alone. And that makes the most sense, especially with like this Me Too thing. And then also like, you get called a creep. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not, attractive, like if a dude walks up to you and he says, and he throws like a shot at you, he's a creep if he's unattractive. And I think that to you, right? And I think that confuses a lot of dudes. But Mo, I get your point, because I think just as similar as there's women out there that choose, you know what I'm saying, the F-boys, I think there's dudes out there that want nothing more than the big booty Judy, you know what I'm saying, and will bypass, the pancake Susan, you know what I'm saying, for something else.
Because I feel like that's also like what we have been conditioned to think, like in movies and certain things like that, when the girl like pushes it away, like the guy is like persistent and like still keeps trying, and then eventually he gets her. But I feel like in 2020 it's not like that. If she says that she's not interested, let it go. You know what I mean? Like, let it go. I'm not saying that you can't like be, I don't even like to say friend, but I'm not saying you can't communicate with her. But if she says that she's not interested you on that level, then I feel like let it go. Because if you keep trying to be persistent and like her, like, you're just gonna push her away more. And if you let it go, then she probably will come to you, honestly. Like, if she really wants you, like, and it gradually, like, and it's meant to happen, then I feel like eventually she'll come to you.
Let me ask you guys one more quick question and we'll get on with the video. One thing that I was trying to articulate is that it's different for men and women in the sense of kind of what like your expectations in pursuit of said man or said woman. For example, what she was saying in the video is that women are the fairer sex. So you guys are more judged based off of your aesthetics and visual. And men are more visual. Men are not, you guys should not be in it for how a guy looks. Do you agree? It sounds like Vicky, like, you don't agree with that at all. So like,
well, I have to be somewhat attracted to you, but I don't care for the pretty boy thing. That's a little weird for me. Okay. Like, you can't be all pretty. Like, that's weird. Like, it is pretty men, but like, you pretty, like, it's just like a bit much. Like I have a girlfriend that has a dude and he's real like, dressed really nice, but he's real pretty, like silky hair lined up, eyebrows look nice and lined up, and I'm just like, wow. To me, it's a little fruit too, but that's just how it is. There are men that are somewhat like
metrosexual.
Yeah, metrosexual, but to me it's just I can't do that. Like I have to be attracted to you. I am attracted to medium ugly. Okay. I had some handsome men. Mm-hmm. Oh Lord. But see, they got me not because of their looks. They got me from like conversation and the energy. Okay. But the other ones, I would attract to you was a little funny, I feel like I agree with her in a certain light, but we are the fairer sex. I don't want I don't want a man that's that beautiful. I don't want to say, I've seen like models and stuff like he's beautiful. Will I want to be with a beautiful man? No, I would not. That would be nice. No.
Medium ugly. Okay.
Medium ugly, medium rare, a little pink in the middle.
Got it.
And we're talking all men around the world, less than 3% of the population. Now you take out the gay guys and you take out the guys that are not black or whatever race specific that you prefer your husband to be, and you take out the men that are broke, and you take out the players, the men who are just not ready, and who are not ready to get married, aren't even looking for a wife, don't want that responsibility yet. Think about these numbers. Less than 3%, less than 14% of the entire American male population is over 6 foot. Less than 14%. And that's all the married men and the men in prison, all of them girls. So you're sitting around here like, oh, he's got to be 6 foot and he's got to look like this and he's got to make 6 figures or 7 figures. When you start at just height alone, do you hear the percentage that I just gave you on just height? Just height. And if you add in what he looks like looking like Idris and making money like this and that, honey, look, you looking for the come up for real, because I don't know where he's at. I was matchmaking. I would be like, man, I would go find these incredible men. And they would be like, I would never date him. I'm like, I just went and found a freaking pilot, ex-Falcons player. Are you serious? But he don't look, it's like he's gotta be perfect. But you're not perfect. You got issues and unresolved issues, and you got a temper, and you're bossy and you're controlling, and men don't even like to be around you long term. You run everybody away. You think you're so much the ish that you're bougie and vain and stuck up. And men don't like it. And you wonder why you can't keep a man. You wonder why nobody wants to be around you. Sweetheart, listen, get nice, be sweet. Men are simple creatures. They're simple, but your standards are standardizing you right out of the game. Everybody else is getting married. Everybody else is having babies. But you steady like, oh, I'm not settling. I'm not going to settle. I know what I deserve. And even when I post those type of memes, I'm like, you know what? There's some real stuck up women right now that are about to read this, and it's going to reinforce literally their false standards, their ridiculous standards. You know what? I'm not gonna settle. But in the meantime, boo, you're not even half the things that you have on your list as requirements for a man. You're not.
Whoa! Sheesh! She is going in.
Now, I do agree with her is though majority of us have unrealistic standards for men. Because men are not like us. We're definitely different. So we do tend to try to help them match us. However, I feel like that's the majority. As far as with me personally, I feel like I have experienced certain things, and my experience has been learned from men. You know what I'm saying? So I've dated men that I like something about them, and I realize that this is something that I need in a partner. So I've experienced this. I learned that this is something that I need, and then in order for longevity. And then when I'm looking for my significant other or my husband or whatever the case may be, I'm knowing like, okay, this is something that I need for longevity. So now I'm kind of like expecting that, because I'm like, this is something that I feel like will provide like happiness for me.
But she's talking about unrealistic expectations. So in the idea of unrealistic expectations, she's highlighting that what the expectations that you have for someone else, you don't even have for yourself, is what she has found in those. And she's saying that when she posts her memes on her Instagram, and when she posts them and then they say, you know, something about some sarcastic thing about expectations or unrealistic standards, she's saying that she also thinks that the women that look at that, it reinforces their behavior, that they are entitled to the cream of the crop or the creme de la creme, when they haven't looked internally and assessed what really do they bring to the table. My contention is that when you're writing a checklist of like what you expect out of a man, your checklist of what you give to a man should be just as long. And I think like a lot of people just say, and you know, this is from my experiences, this is more women, because I look a certain way, and because I have a viscous layer, I have a viscosity layer up inside of me, then I am worthy of 6 foot, 6 pack, 6 this, 6 that, 6 figures, or what have you. And I think that what she's highlighting is there has to be a coming to terms of kind of standardizing your standards in a way that allows for realistic expectations.
No, I get what she's saying, and that may be a better question for Vicky to answer, because she has more friends, like different type of friends and stuff. But I'm saying that majority may expect that. But as far as me, any expectations that I have from a man or from my husband, I bring to the table. So I'm a very emotional person. I like to talk about emotions. I like to get to know each other deep. I like to have conversations about how we can better. Like, I bring that to the table. So that's what I expect from my partner, because that's what makes me happy. So anything that I expect from my partner, I bring to the table. Now, as far as the majority, then I feel like nowadays in my generation, there are women that expect the way he look. Like, he gotta have the looks, he gotta have the money, he gotta have this, that, and the third. For me, I'm not attached to money, so I can give a fuck about money, excuse me. But what I need, and what I know that I need for longevity, is like, an emotional man. Is I need an emotional
pincushion.
I need someone that is willing to emotionally tend to my needs, emotionally. At least meet me halfway. I feel like that's what I need, because I will tend to their emotions emotionally. If they're sad, I make sure I'm there and I support them. If they need to talk about something, I make sure I'm there. So I feel like for my needs, which may be different for others, my needs is not what you look like, or what finances you have, or how dedicated you are to your. That's not what I need. I feel like that's great and that's a bonus. But I feel like for longevity, you know what I mean? It's not even your dick game for real. You know what I mean? Like, that's good, but what I need for longevity, and I feel like to be like 10, like 20, 30 years down the line, and I'm old and we decrepit, and we just looking at each other and nothing we can do, we can't even have sex. Like, what I need you to be emotionally present. So that's what I need. You know what I mean? Nowadays, I would say, because, you know, I feel like she has a variety of different types of friends. I feel like I have kind of the same type of friends.
So Vicky, how do you feel about that?